Lovely, lovely people. A pleasant evening to you. I was talking with a friend of mine in fairly recent time. We talk quite often. And I said to him, it may have been a weekend. And I was saying to him, Lord, I'm going to be lazy today. I'm going to be lazy today. And this is after doing some chores and, some reading and whatnot and cooking. And, you know, he responded and he said, Toni-Ann, don't ever say that again. It has been inculcated in the black race, among the black people within the black community, of when you need to rest, they dub it as laziness. Now, don't get me wrong. We know that you do have lazy people, because the very same Bible says, do not feed a lazy man, which constitutes that there are lazy people around. So don't get me wrong, I know that we do have some lazy people. However, we have this very bad tendency and practice, which I think it really streamlined itself from slavery. It stemmed from slavery, where if you see somebody sitting and relaxing, for example, during a weekday or even on a weekend, what, me and have something to do? Or you big and idle, so get up and go find something to do. That is how we tend to respond. We don't feel that maybe the person just need to relax. They're tired. Now listen, it is about work-life balance, for example. We are told that we need a minimum of 8 hours sleep. There are 24 hours in a particular day. So you work 8 hours. So 8 from that leaves how much? I mean, I'm not really mathematically inclined, 4 and another 4. 16 remaining, right? Then 8 out of that is supposed to be for sleep. So it leaves another 8, right? Good. The other 8, what do you think should be done with the other 8? That you work back again? So your body as soon as your body get a rest, you can't say let you put it. I'm not saying that you're going to use a full 8 to enjoy yourself, but nothing is wrong with that. So look at it. So 8, you see how God is so good, 24 hours in a day. You split up that into 8. 8 hours sleep, 8 hours work, and 8 hours play. And when I say play, meaning whether you go to school, sometimes you probably will be studying, you'll be reading, you'll be swimming, you'll be singing, you'll be playing some form of game, going out, whatever it is, worshiping God, praising God. I mean, so many different things with that other remaining 8 hours. So let's say 8 for work, 8 for sleep, leaving the other 8. You balance it out. It doesn't mean that people are being idle. We are made also to rest. We need to stop selling that false narrative to the black people. I don't need to work more than 8 hours per se. I know sometimes you may have a specific goal and may require that you go above the 8 for a period, for a season. I can accept that. I can understand that. But notice I said for a season, because you may be trying to charter a particular course. You may be trying to build your wealth. You may be trying to build a particular thing. So it requires that you go into something unorthodox, unusual. I can accept that. So it may require more than the 8 hours work for a season. Your body is deteriorating every day. It withers every day. If you're 20 this year, the following year, you're not going to be 19. And the year after, you're not going to be 18. You're going to be 21, then 22. You're not getting younger. You're getting older. So you have to balance. You have to balance. So we need to stop selling that false narrative. If I believe in working, when I say hard, you work, you put energy, you put vim, you put vigor, vitality, not Viagra, in your work, in your effort to work. You're smart with it. I personally believe in that. We like to see people we like to see the agility, the energy. That's good. I believe in that. And that is what I mean when I say hard. There must be some energy There must be some life and vim, you know, in terms of when you're working. Good, not a problem. But you have to have a balance. There are going to be moments when you just need to relax and do nothing. But just relax. You may not even need to sleep. You may just need to relax and unwind. You need to meditate and refocus. Think on how much you want your life to even be better than where it is at. How you think people move from millionaire to billionaire to trillionaire? You know, it is not just about going hard and going at it. Sometimes they have to sit back, relax, and refocus and wheel and come again. Stop telling the black people that they are lazy. This is the only race that the vitriol is so acute. It is strangling. It is suffocating. It's like a chokehold that seems to not be able to be removed. All the bad we associate with the black community. Remember that slavery affected us, and don't get me wrong, I don't use it as a crutch. I don't use it as a crutch because I believe that we can rise above that and really emancipate ourselves mentally, psychologically, emotionally, socially, financially, and in every way that you can think of. I personally believe in that, but it takes time. It takes time to unlearn and relearn and to get out bad practices, because a lot of it is systemic, meaning it passes down from generation to generation, so it becomes a part of us. So it takes time, and that is why you have to be patient with people. But balance is key. For example, if you're studying, you don't sit down for the next 5 hours to study. That's ridiculous. After 2 hours, diminishing returns. You probably all throw it out of your brain, the little that you probably studied and retained. So it's futile to say I'm going to sit down because you want to seem studious and bright. No, you have to balance. So you study for 2 hours, you break, relax your mind, unwind, take it easy, talk to somebody, laugh, hop, skip and jump, boom, flick, somersault, whatever it is. And then you probably, if you feel like going back to it, you go back to it. Or for me, you get some rest. I remember I worked at a particular place some years ago, and I was talking to some people who were either in Trinidad or Tobago, because they're two concurrent islands or so, you know. And I don't recall if it's both or either of the two, where the person was saying, or like I said, you can do a particular, and they said, no, we have siesta. So on particular days, even after their lunchtime, they are given an hour or two extra to go and rest and do, or maybe do something, but it's really to go and rest. Yes, and those countries are productive more than our country. They're productive more than us. It's so funny, yeah. It's like they would say Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, something like. I don't remember how it was, but they have a thing called siesta, and I'm sure there are other countries, and these are highly productive countries. They do well. You have to have balance. You have to have balance. This thing where you have to be sitting at your desk from 8 to 5. And I remember back in the day, they used to have this ridiculous concept, this hypothesis or theorem, you know, just look as if you're working, because, you know, you don't want HR and other relevant authorities to see like you're idling. So even if you have to pretend to read a book, and you're like, it used to puzzle me. I said, what purpose does that have? How productive is that? Even if I'm pretending to read a book, so how beneficial is that to me and to the organization? I just have to look like I'm busy as opposed to really being busy in a productive manner. You see, the stories that we sell to the black community is so ridiculous. It is hinged on slavery. And I'm not for once lauding laziness. The Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat, and do not feed a lazy man. I would never do that. I believe in working. But I'm talking about we take it out of whack. It's like we want to see them what the slaves went through. We want in modern day the black community to go through it. We need to really emancipate ourselves. We can unlearn and relearn. So stop the nonsense about the laziness. All right, guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of those lines, and you can follow me on Instagram.